I think it's really important to be in those moments is to be a big heart with ears. It's just being able to say to a young person, can you help me understand how you see it? Just help me understand this. And to genuinely mean it. I love asking kids this, can you help me understand? For little ones, it's can you help me understand what's going wrong? And they've often got a little bit of a story. Well, the scissors won't cut, and I just hate this thing, and I can't finish it. And the project was, and my brother took that, and he didn't ask, and you get a big story, right? So can you help me understand what's going wrong? But for a teenager at the other end of the scale, it's can you help me understand how you see it? Right? And can you help me understand how you're feeling? But if you ask a 4-year-old, can you help me understand how you're feeling? Well, that's just a dumb question, to ask a 4-year-old, because just the straightforward brain science of it is that they feel bad. They might be able to say bad, but if you're looking at them like, okay, now tell me, let's all go to what your feelings are feeling. I always know what parenting books people are reading when they ask that sort of stuff. Can you help me understand what your feelings are feeling? That's a hard question to ask a little one, because the brain bridge, the movement across from right, left brain, cause and effect, social, emotional, this happened, therefore I'm feeling that. That traffic it doesn't pick up pace until 12, 11, 12, 13. And yet as a society, we think kids should know how they feel much, much younger. And it makes them feel kind of mad or incompetent because they're not sure, and we're asking them something, and we're so powerful, and we're asking them. But for a 14, 15, 16-year-old, I think it's absolutely reasonable to be, so can you help me understand how you're feeling? Or can you help me understand how you see it? Where are you trying to get to? Because teenagers can be spectacularly disinterested in our opinions, right? Really. But they're particularly the ones, Cecilia, just like us. They're the ones that give us the trouble. But they're very, very interested in their direction. And so should they be. We often say, well, that's very self-centered. I think it's actually very self-directed. I challenge that word centered, that you have to be centered before you can be directed. And so I'm okay. I'm okay with the self-centeredness up to a point, of course, but it's necessary. And it's a little bit like, one of the things I say to my kids that they've heard this frequently is we live not so far from New York City. So we're often in the city. And I say to them, look, don't be taking a crosstown bus if you want to go downtown. Don't take a crosstown bus. What's going on right now is a crosstown bus. It's taken you away. My job as a parent to a slightly older kid, to a tween, particularly a teenager, is to ask them, is that I want to help you get towards your direction. And what you're doing right now seems to me it's possibly a distraction. Let's sort out direction and distraction. And it's often a little bit of a, excuse me, a bit of a degree. It's not black and white like that. But if there's a strong element of distraction in it, I think it's okay. Like Jason, I think it's perfectly fine. And it's our job to sort of ask that question. Do you think that's a distraction? If we say, I think that's a distraction, then that's a whole different thing. It's like, mm-hmm. But do you think that's it? What parts of that are a distraction? It's probably not all a distraction, but what parts? Okay, so how is it distracting you, do you think? Because it's about, in the book I wrote called The Soul of Discipline, I talk about this movement from when children are little, where the governor of the family state, and we move from the governor where the boundaries are fairly close, and there they are. There are the boundaries. And as children grow, then when they're tween ages, 9, 10, 11, 12, then then I believe the metaphor I use is that we're the gardener, we're listening, we're pruning, we're planting, we're shaping, but we're listening, and then we make a decision, but only after really careful listening and tuning in. And then when kids are teenagers, we're the guide. So we move from governor to gardener to guide. And so they want to go to a place, and I found myself saying repeatedly to teenagers, both as a school counselor and to my own kids, look, I totally want to help you get where you're going, where you want to go. With some teenagers, it's figuring out where you want to go first. And I don't mean just college. I mean just things you're interested in, things that you know that where you can contribute. You know? So, and then, okay, so I want to be your guide. I want to help you to get there, and I want to help you not get caught up in distractions. And then, you know, once they're in their 20s and beyond, someone asked me this recently, well, what about the 20s and 30s? And I said, then I think we're the witness. It's really the witness.